When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And we're here to tell you there's no Gundam. Alright, well that's it this week. I guess we'll go on and I guess there's some other things that came out. And we'll go ahead and show you right
One
now.
Piece.
Alright, well I hope you got a good look at what was out this week. I'll go ahead and start us off. I rarely start us off, so I think this will be a good way of doing it.
Okay.
Now, there's one that came out on Essentials that it really has my interest up, which is A Centaur's Life. It seems like there is this whole thing about monster girls that had been going along. I mean, Monster Musume, Diaries of, was it Diary of a Monster Girl or something like that?
Interview with a Monster Girl?
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, The Centaur's Life. I don't think that the worlds are connected, but there's just been this weird, like, Monster Girl thing that had gone on. And all these released around the same time. So
These things tend to go in waves.
Yeah. Well, like The Illusionist and
The Prestige?
yes. Exactly that same quality, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, from what I hear, Monster Musume is...
Well,
I
most
don't
of
know.
Musume is, I think they're
And
all
they're
your
not
standard.
the only ones. You got Miss
kind of-
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid,
Yeah.
and you got...
And that one is high rated.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's this weird niche kind of fetishy kind of thing. But I still thought it was worth mentioning. I'm curious. So, yeah, if you like that sort of thing, definitely check it out.
Speaking of genres that have it kind of exploded into the stratosphere, although this one has gotten to the point where, can we say oversaturation? The whole isekai genre, the whole going to another world. Aniplex has decided to give us another go at getting SAO 2. Sword
Yay!
Art Online Season 2. I have watched 2 episodes of it, and I got distracted by life and never got back around to it. I have seen the first season. SAO is one of those maddening shows that's so... You get people who are rabidly for it and people that are rabidly against it. And even the people who are for it usually have to concede that it's a flawed series. But I'm curious. But the price point is so prohibitive. I have season 1 because I got a hella deal on it. SAO2, I think the price point is what, $160 for the full season?
I think I have
Which is-
that series. There you go.
Actually, I've not seen Dot Hack Sign.
I'm sure I've actually pissed off a whole bunch of Sword Art Online
Well,
fans.
you got Dot Hack Sign, and the other day I was reading a review of 12 Kingdoms, and you have Fushigi Yugi. You have a lot of these Transport to Another World ones going back into the 90s and probably earlier.
Shoot, even the niche genre of being transported into a video game.
But now, oh my god, now, there's so many of them.
Even Ready Player One, which isn't even an anime.
Which Ready Player One is tied to SAO. And tied to Summer Wars, which was a movie that falls kind of in that genre a little bit. So, long story short, if you are rich, then buy this collection because it's cheaper than the individual sets. If you are not rich and you really love you some SAO, it's cheaper than buying the individual versions. For the rest of us, we can stream it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of streaming, Child's Play, the new one with Mark Hamill, is releasing.
Mark Hamill's in that?
He voices Chucky. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd give you nightmares.
I've heard mixed reviews. I have all of them. I actually have the somewhere. I have that. Yeah, I have it right here. I have the one right here, which has all the films.
That is a cool looking set.
It is a cool looking set. It's got all of the films except for that one there, which kind of reboots the series. So in a way, you could say this is all of the original Chucky universe, and that thing there is the start of the new Chucky universe. So do with that as you will.
Mark Hamill is Chucky. It sounds like it could be a good idea.
He is an excellent voice actor.
Oh, he is. But that's what I'm saying. He can be creepy as hell. Anyway, let's see. Speaking of creepy, Disney is trying very hard to revisit and revision many of their villains. And very few have they tried harder than with the villain in the Sleeping Beauty tale, Maleficent. Mentioned because this week there is a 4K release of the quote-unquote Ultimate Collector's Edition, which is clearly being cross-promotion with the new movie, which is, what's it called again?
I don't know. It's the
I can't
sequel.
remember. Yeah, there's a sequel coming out.
It's the sequel that's probably not as good as the original.
Which, this one, honestly, was not a bad film, but I love Angelina Jolie. She can act, but she did not in this film.
See, to me,
Now,
there
Elle
are
Fanning.
3 versions that Disney has of their live-action remakes. You've got your note for note, like, say, The Lion King, which is practically...
Mostly note for note.
You've got your...
Beauty and the Beast is a better example.
You've got your, like, rough cut that's similar, but different enough. I think Jungle Book was like that.
Jungle Book was a damn good movie. And it did stand on its own.
Again,
even Dumbo
Dumbo is a good example.
Yeah.
But then you've got yours that are, yes, they're live action, but they're not really remakes. They're kind of doing their own thing. Alice in Wonderland is also a good example of that.
Is that a good example?
Well, there's not many good examples, but
I am looking for
an example.
I am curious about Cruella. I am curious about it. But like I said, they have this thing where they're trying to make all their villains cuddly-ish.
Yeah, I ain't cuddly.
But, yeah, I'm curious what they'll do with that. But, yeah, you're right. They do seem... I think those are the three main...
yeah, it's like a safe, moderately safe, and then bad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many examples of where they went totally off script, and it's been really good.
Okay.
Maleficent was okay, but it was... but
the one I'm still waiting for, I think I've mentioned on this channel, is I'm waiting for the live-action version of the Aristocats. And I envision it thusly. I envision it as they just film a bunch of cats doing cat things and get celebrity voices, and it'd be like Simon the Talking Cat, but like just a bigger budget version. So, you know, cat videos.
No. All they do is they play cat videos and use the soundtrack of the Aristocrats in the background, and you've got the perfect combo.
True. Yeah. That would be something, so sort of like, kind of the reverse of What's Up, Tiger Lily?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Alright, so, moving on. It seems like we have another character focus. I mean, first we had Fujiko in focus, and from what I've heard, that was really good, the Fujiko Mine series. Then we had the Jigen's Gravestones. Is that a series? I can't remember.
No, that was a movie.
And now we're having the next one, which is Goemon's Blood Spray. So Goemon is the samurai character who has about the same loyalty to Lupin as Fujiko, in a way, because they're different motivation-wise, but they both do their own thing. And they both kind of end up on both sides.
Incidentally, did you lead off with saying this was a Lupin movie? I don't...
well, I said Lupin, yes, and Lupin Associate.
Just in case.
But yes, it is Lupin the Third related. So out of that, I mean, like I said, they're the ones... Jigen is always on Lupin's side, for the most part. I'm sure there have been moments where they've been at odds, but he's mostly loyal to Lupin. Fujiko is mostly not loyal to Lupin, and Goemon kind of straddles the line.
Fujiko is always loyal to Fujiko.
Yes. So, I will be getting it, because I collect everything Lupin. So it will... That's coming out here. Still waiting on that fourth part of Lupin Part 2. But, definitely. It's going to be it's going to be mine. Oh, yes.
It will be mine. Oh, yes. It will be mine.
It will? Okay. So, next up, one that will be mine, eventually, probably on Black Friday. Season 4 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow comes out. And this may be fortuitous timing, because correct me if I'm wrong, Season 4 is when John Constantine joins the show, right?
Maybe.
Because
I haven't followed that series, period, so that's why I gave it to you.
A couple nights ago, I finally got my introduction to the Arrowverse John Constantine. And they did him right.
I've seen that.
Yes.
I do have that entire one-season series, and I like him. He's a fun character.
He is a fun... No, I'm not talking about the series. I'm talking about his appearance on Arrow.
Because I think it is in the Arrowverse. His series is.
Okay. Well,
it's the British actor that did him, right?
Well, I should hope so. He is British. But
they didn't bring Keanu Reeves back, did they?
God no.
I think it is the same.
He actually looked more like Jake Gyllenhaal, I think.
I really want to say is the Constantine that they did the one-season series for is the one they dragged into.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I will say this: his one appearance on Arrow. They got him right, and he's a fun character. So I look forward to any Legends of Tomorrow that might have him. In general, Legends of Tomorrow is one I haven't gotten to yet, but it's on the horizon very soon. I'm working on the previous season of Flash and Arrow, and then I'll start up Legends of Tomorrow. I've heard a lot about it. I know a lot of my favorite characters from the Arrowverse do appear or feature in it, and it just looks like a fun concept. It kind of, from what I've seen, the concept reminds me of the Exiles. Random characters brought together.
Yes, it is the same one, and he also voices his equivalent in the animated as well, which is a part of the Arrowverse. Oddly has some of the animated stuff in it.
Who's the actor?
It is somebody.
Oh, I should hope so.
His name is Matt Ryan.
Okay.
So yes, it is the same one, and I like how like how the Arrowverse does incorporate some animated features as well, with like the John Constantine animated movie that they did.
Right. Very cool. Yeah.
All right. So next up, as we meander down the line, talking about TV series. And one that's coming up, to celebrate that one, they're re-releasing Stephen King's The Stand on 4K.
Oh.
Now I have this remarkably old first release of The Stand.
It looks good, though.
And I actually really enjoyed this. The ending was kind of campy, but he says he fixed the ending. For the new miniseries.
Oh.
But The Stand is pretty cool. It's about this plague that wipes everybody out except for a scant few, and then those few form societies and decide to go to war with one another.
Yeah.
That's the short of it. It is
pretty much
well written, has very good characters, but Stephen King, if he does anything right, it's character development.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that they did a pretty good job of adapting it. I did not dislike most of it. There are a couple little things I had with it, but this isn't a review of that, so maybe one day I'll review it. But still, it's a good TV series. It's a reasonable adaptation. If you haven't read The Stand and you want to brush up, this is not bad. I actually really like the guy that got to play Randall Flagg.
Yeah. Which actually, Randall Flagg, the walking dude, is one of the great villains. He truly is a great villain. And I'm not big on post-apocalyptic stuff generally, but I absolutely love the book. It is one of my favorite books. And the miniseries, it's a little cheesy, it's a little campy. They should have got someone other than Molly Ringwald for the part of
it's
Franny,
probably one of my favorite books by King.
Yeah. So, speaking of adaptations, one that went over a little less popularly for a lot of people is the remake of the movie from the big blaxploitation hit from the 70s that got Isaac Hayes an Oscar for singing about one bad mother. Got remade with Samuel Mother Jackson. And Shaft is okay. The remake is okay. It's neither here nor there. It exists. But it is fun to see Sam Jackson play Shaft. It is fun. It just should have been more fun. But it's getting a re-release for some reason this week, so we're going to mention it.
Maybe they're remaking it again.
Actually, I think they are.
There you go.
I think they are. No. I think I blocked that from my memory, actually.
So another one that I actually talked about on this channel not too long ago, maybe even showed this off, was
Shiny.
a little series called Love Live Sunshine. That's getting a full series release.
Woo!
Because Funimation likes to release them in this nice limited editions, which I have my other part of the limited edition hiding somewhere. But I have both parts. But they like to release them at $40 each. Then release eventually the full series for about the same price as half of this. But still, it's kind of cool to have it. If you like Love Live, and it is a decent series. If you like if you like K-On!, you'll like Love Live. I mean, that's just how it is. So you should check it out. And the sequel series is not bad. I enjoyed it when I was doing my NIS watch-through stuff. Love Live had a good part, and this one played along pretty well as a good kind of sequel that's off to the side.
They should mention that this week's release isn't part of the Essentials collection.
Yes, it is an essential.
Which I will admit.
For once.
I will admit though, I like this set. This is a
nice.
shiny set. It has a booklet, and because I have such collector's edition sets for the original, I want this set. But it is nice to know that the Essentials one is out there, so if I give up on that set, I can get...
And you finally got the premiums for all of them, didn't you?
For the original series, yes. I do. And then, like I said, I got that Japanese collector's edition of the movie. So I have two different collector's edition sets of the movie, which is kind of fun. And there were multiple Essentials this week. He's already covered two. I think there was one or two others. There actually were a lot of anime that we're not going to cover this week.
Yeah.
But there were a lot that were kind of like, oh, I'm kind of interested. But speaking of special editions and anime, I will mention one. Sentai has a new premium set coming out this week. And as you know from watching this channel, I like their sets. They generally do good with their sets. And they're a high price point, but they're really good about putting them on sale. So, who knows?
I really want Tales of the Abyss, but I just can't. It just doesn't... It goes on sale,
I want
but
the
not for
K-On!
much.
set.
That one's gone down to about 100
I know.
when it gets on sale.
Next time it goes to 100, I need to get it. But the new one coming out this week is called Tada Never Falls in Love. Now, from what I understand, it's about a photographer who really likes cherry blossoms because they're so ephemeral and they're really good. You know, they do make a great photography subject, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And he meets this girl who secretly is like a princess. In a way, it reminds me of a Japanese remix of Roman Holiday from what I've read about it. And it sounds really interesting. And I loved Roman Holiday. That was a fun movie. So it might be worth a look. And again, these sets... this one I will get if it goes on sale for less than $50, just on principle. But if you know the series, I would go ahead and spring for the good set. If you know it and you like it, and if you don't, from what they're also releasing a regular edition simultaneously, so you can check it out either way.
So another one that's being released finally is Kimono Friends. Now, I'll admit, I don't understand the appeal of this, but it is super freaking popular in Japan.
It's just season 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got many seasons out now, I believe, in Japan. And it's just about these people. I think they're in a zoo, and it's like humanized animals, and they are doing things that are appropriate for children, and that's about all I know. But I know that formula apparently means that it's extremely popular in Japan. So I guess we'll get to see if the popularity sticks here in the United States of human-animal hybrids doing things. And
so it's a G-rated furries program.
Yeah, there you go. Or maybe it's a continuous. We talked about the Monster Girl genre. Maybe it's related to that, and I just don't realize that.
I'm sorry. You just set me up for that. Honestly, I'm curious about it because of the popularity, but it is aimed at kids, so I don't know that I'd get much more out of it than I would Pokemon or Digimon or whatever.
For kids.
Yes, exactly. So, one show that came out when even you were not yet a kid, a movie rather. There's a movie from the mid-'70s, I think it's 1975, that, if I recall correctly, starred Robert Redford, Susan Sarandon, and I want to say Edward Herrmann was the other major player. And it's called The Great Waldo Pepper. And it's about a pilot named Waldo Pepper. And it's a really good movie. I enjoy it. I have it in my collection. It's getting a re-release this week. I have no idea if it's the first time on Blu-ray, but it could be. But it definitely is getting a Blu-ray release this week. If you've never checked it out, it's worth a look. It's a fun little movie. Very 70s, so you got to have an appreciation for 70s movies. But, I know it was a favorite of my dad's, but he was really into aviation, so that was, yeah. But it's a good one.
So, my last one is sort of a re-release of some things, but you can combine a couple of things, and that's the Ultimate DiGi Charat collection, which has basically, it's a combination of two things. One is this collection, which has all the specials. I think the only one that I noticed that wasn't on there was maybe the Rainy Day special was on there, and maybe it's the Omake specials. I don't know. I'd have to do further examination. But it also includes another one, which is Winter Garden, which is utter trash. But if you want to complete your collection, which you can't do physically in the United States because they never completed the release of DiGi Charat Nyo, which I hate that. I've got all the what's released here.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody will save it and finally release the rest of it.
Yeah, they really got to get on that,
A true ultimate DiGi Charat collection, which that one is not.
Yeah, it's not very ultimate,
Warm fuzzy rice.
Warm fuzzy rice,
Warm fluffy rice, Nyo. It's summer, Nyo. The beach, Nyo. Warm fluffy rice, Nyo. It looks so yummy, like it was just cooked, Nyo.
Okay, DiGi Charat is not the best series in the world, but it's fun. And I will always remember it as the inspiration for my drink Warm Fuzzy Rice. But anyway. And the last one we're going to cover is another kind of sort of re-release that he swore up and down, wait a minute, they've already done this. Oh, wait, no, they didn't.
Yeah, well,
so
looked like it.
Criterion is expanding their releases of the Charles Chaplin collection with a film that he had as part of the Chaplin collection, The Circus. And I'll put it down here so you can see their version. But Circus is actually his version had quite a few special features on it. But Criterion being Criterion, and as much as they love Charles Chaplin, I have a feeling that The Circus is going to be a really good set.
Yeah.
And it's timely because I'm running out of Charlie Chaplin films to get.
Yeah. I have a feeling that what they're going to do is towards the end they're going to release a big collection
probably
of all the films and like all the shorts that they can get.
They should at least have a Charlie Chaplin short film collection.
I would love to get a short film collection.
They should definitely do that. Criterion people, there you go. But at the very least, The Circus is a well-known film that he did. I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Oh, it's fun.
Supposed to. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's Charlie Chaplin film about the circus. I'm sure. Yeah. But it's coming out pretty much. We got a couple months until the November sale, but it'll be on my list.
Well, with that being said, we gotta run.
Yes.
So, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.